Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Lesson Lab, where learning English becomes your favorite adventure. I'm Den, and this is podcast episode number 6. If you're new here, welcome to our community, where we tackle the real challenges that English learners face every single day. Today, we're diving deep into probably the most frustrating problem I hear about from my students. Den, I can understand everything in English, but when I try to speak, nothing comes out. Or, I know exactly what I want to say, but the words just won't come. Sound familiar? You're definitely not alone. This is what experts call the receptive-productive gap, and it affects millions of language learners worldwide. But here's the good news. Recent research has given us incredible insights into why this happens and, more importantly, how to fix it. So grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, and let's break this barrier once and for all. First, let's talk about what's actually happening in your brain when you understand English versus when you try to speak it. This isn't just academic stuff. Understanding this will completely change how you approach your speaking practice. When you're listening to English, your brain is doing something amazing. It's using what scientists call prediction networks. Basically, your brain is constantly guessing what word comes next based on context. It's like having a really smart autocomplete system running in your head. Plus, when you're listening, you have time. You can use context clues, you can re-listen, you can piece things together. But speaking? Speaking is a completely different beast. Your brain has to activate entirely different networks. It needs to retrieve specific words from memory, put them in the right grammatical order, coordinate your mouth and tongue movements, and do all of this in real time while managing any anxiety you might be feeling. Think of it like this. Understanding English is like being a food critic. You can taste and evaluate what's put in front of you. Speaking English is like being a chef. You have to create the dish from scratch, under pressure, with everyone watching. And here's the kicker. When anxiety kicks in, it literally hijacks the brain networks you need for speaking. Your amygdala, that ancient alarm system in your brain, starts flooding your system with stress hormones that make it even harder to access your vocabulary and grammar skills. But don't worry, your brain is incredibly adaptable. With the right practice, you can build these speaking networks just as strong as your understanding networks. Now, let's get real about the emotional side of this challenge. Because let's face it, for many of you, this isn't just about brain networks. There's fear involved. Real, genuine fear. Maybe you're afraid people will judge your accent. Maybe you're worried about making grammar mistakes. Maybe you come from a culture where making mistakes feels like losing face. All of these feelings are completely valid and more common than you think. Recent studies have identified the most effective psychological strategies for overcoming speaking anxiety. And I want to share them with you because they work. First, we need to challenge what psychologists call catastrophic thinking. You know what I'm talking about? Those thoughts like, everyone will laugh at me, or they'll think I'm stupid, or my accent is terrible. Here's a simple but powerful reframe. Instead of, everyone will judge my English, try thinking, most people appreciate when someone makes an effort to communicate in their language. Instead of, I make too many mistakes, try, every mistake is data that helps me improve. This isn't just positive thinking fluff. This cognitive restructuring has been proven to reduce language anxiety in multiple research studies. Second, we're going to use what's called graduated exposure. Just like how you wouldn't jump into the deep end of a pool if you couldn't swim, you shouldn't jump into complex conversations if you're not comfortable speaking alone yet. We'll start with solo practice, just you and no judgment. Then we'll move to recording yourself. After that, maybe AI conversation partners, and eventually, real human conversations. Each step builds your confidence for the next one. And here's something crucial I want you to remember. Your goal is not perfection. Your goal is communication. Native speakers make mistakes all the time. They use filler words, they stumble, they correct themselves. The difference is they don't let it stop them from speaking. All right, let's get practical. One of the biggest advantages we have today is that you don't need a conversation partner to dramatically improve your speaking. You can make incredible progress completely on your own. Let me share with you the 5 most effective solo practice techniques that research and polyglot experts consistently recommend. Technique number 1, shadowing. This is the gold standard of solo speaking practice. Here's how it works. You listen to native English speakers. Could be from a podcast, a YouTube video, a movie, and you repeat what they're saying immediately after you hear it, like an echo. But here's the key. You're not just repeating words. You're matching their tone, their rhythm, their intonation. You're training your mouth muscles and your brain simultaneously. Start simple. Find free content that's slightly below your current level. YouTube has thousands of English learning channels, news websites often have video sections, and podcasts are completely free. If you're intermediate, try beginner news reports or educational videos, where you understand about 90% of the vocabulary. Listen to a sentence, pause the video, and repeat it. Try to match not just the words, but how they sound. Then gradually work up to longer segments. I had a student who used free YouTube cooking videos for shadowing practice. She'd shadow the chef's instructions while actually cooking. 2 months later, she was having natural conversations with native speakers. The transformation was incredible. Technique number 2, self-talk. It might sound weird, but bear with me. Start narrating your daily activities in English out loud. When you're making coffee, now I'm grinding the coffee beans. The aroma is amazing. I'm heating up the water to about 90 degrees. When you're walking, I'm walking to the bus stop. The weather is cloudy today. I hope it doesn't rain. This technique builds what fluent speakers have, an internal monologue in the target language. Instead of thinking in your native language and translating, you start thinking directly in English. Technique number 3, the phone recording method. Use your phone's voice recorder app. Every smartphone has one. Record yourself speaking for just 1 minute every day. Pick a simple topic. Maybe what you did yesterday or what you're planning for the weekend. Don't script it, just speak spontaneously. Here's the powerful part. Listen back to your recording with curiosity, not judgment. Notice what you did well. Maybe your pronunciation was clear, or you used a complex sentence structure. Then notice what you want to improve. Maybe you paused too much, or you repeated the same words. This gives you completely free, objective feedback without the pressure of a human listener. Technique number 4, the 4-3-2 technique. This is a fluency-building powerhouse that costs absolutely nothing. Use your phone's timer app. Choose any topic and speak about it for 4 minutes. Then take the same topic and speak about it again, but this time in only 3 minutes. Finally, do it one more time in just 2 minutes. Each round forces you to speak faster and more automatically. You'll find words and phrases flowing more naturally because you're accessing them under mild time pressure. All you need is a topic and your phone's timer. Technique number 5, mirror practice. Stand in front of a mirror and have a conversation with yourself. I know it sounds silly, but this technique builds confidence and helps you get comfortable with eye contact and facial expressions while speaking. Try asking yourself questions. What's your favorite movie and why? Then answer completely, maintaining eye contact with yourself. This simulates the social aspect of conversation in a completely safe environment. Now, let's talk about how technology has revolutionized language learning, especially for speaking practice. We're living in an incredible time where you have access to tools that were unimaginable just a few years ago. AI conversation partners. Free AI conversation partners are now available to everyone. ChatGPT has a free tier that you can use to practice conversations. Simply type or speak to it and ask it to play different roles, maybe a store clerk, a friend, or a job interviewer. The best part, it's completely patient and non-judgmental. If you have a smartphone, You can even use voice-to-text features to practice speaking. Open your Notes app, turn on voice typing, and speak your thoughts. Seeing your words appear on screen gives you immediate feedback on clarity. Simple pronunciation practice. You don't need expensive apps for pronunciation feedback. Record yourself reading a short paragraph, then compare it to a native speaker reading the same text. You can find these on YouTube or language learning websites. Another free method, use your phone's voice assistant. Try giving it commands in English. If Siri, Google Assistant, or Alexa understands you, your pronunciation is clear enough for communication. The key with all of these technologies is consistency. Just 10 to 15 minutes of daily practice with these tools will give you better results than 2 hours once a week. Let's talk about something fascinating: how your brain actually changes as you develop speaking skills. Understanding this process will help you be more patient with yourself and more strategic in your practice. Your brain has something called neuroplasticity, its ability to form new neural pathways throughout your life. When you start speaking practice, you're literally building new highways in your brain that connect your language knowledge to your speech production. At first, these pathways are like dirt roads, slow and bumpy. You have to think consciously about every word, every grammar rule. But with consistent practice, these pathways become superhighways. Words and phrases start flowing automatically. This is why the first few weeks of speaking practice feel so difficult. You're not just learning to speak, you're building the brain infrastructure that will make speaking feel natural. Here's what this means for your practice. Start small and build gradually. 10 to 15 minutes of total speaking practice every day is infinitely better than 1 hour once a week. Your brain needs regular stimulation to build these new pathways. Focus on fluency before accuracy. In the beginning, prioritize getting words out over getting them perfect. Fluency, the ability to speak smoothly and continuously, creates the foundation for accuracy improvements later. Use spaced repetition. Come back to the same phrases and expressions multiple times over several days. This strengthens the neural pathways and moves language from your short-term to long-term memory. Combine multiple skills. Practice speaking while walking, or speak while looking at pictures, or combine speaking with gesturing. This creates stronger, more flexible neural connections. Before we get to your action plan, I want to acknowledge that speaking challenges aren't just about language mechanics. Your cultural background and personality play huge roles in how comfortable you feel speaking. If you come from a culture that values avoiding mistakes or where speaking up in groups isn't encouraged, you might face extra psychological barriers. That's completely normal and understandable. Some cultures have what researchers call face-saving orientations, the idea that making visible mistakes causes you to lose respect or dignity. If this resonates with you, remember that in most English-speaking cultures, effort and communication are valued much more highly than perfection. Similarly, if you're naturally introverted, you might need different strategies than someone who's extroverted. Introverts often do better with preparation time and smaller, more intimate conversation settings. The key is to honor your cultural background and personality while still challenging yourself to grow. You don't have to become a different person to speak English confidently. You just need to find approaches that work for your unique situation. Your 30-day speaking transformation plan. All right, let's put this all together into a practical plan that you can start implementing today. I'm going to give you a progressive 30-day roadmap that builds your speaking confidence step by step. Days 1 to 7. Foundation building. 5 minutes of shadowing practice daily using content where you understand about 90% of the vocabulary. 3 minutes of self-talk, narrating your activities. Record yourself speaking for 1 minute about a simple topic: your day, your family, your hobbies. 2 minutes practicing basic greetings and introductions in the mirror. Total time, about 11 minutes daily. Focus this week on getting comfortable with the sound of your own voice speaking English. Days 8 to 14, expanding comfort zone. Increase shadowing to 6 to 7 minutes with content at your current level, where you understand about 80% without subtitles. Try the 4-3-2 technique with familiar topics, 9 minutes total. Record 2-minute monologues and listen back with curiosity, not judgment. Start using an AI conversation partner for 3 to 5 minutes daily. Total time, about 15 minutes daily. This week is about building fluency and getting comfortable with spontaneous speech. Days 15 to 21. Adding complexity. Shadow. More challenging content for 8 minutes. Material where you understand about 70%. TED Talks or podcasts one level above your current ability. Practice explaining concepts or giving your opinions on topics you care about. 5 minutes. Use AI partners for longer, more complex conversations. 5 minutes. Try describing pictures or videos in detail for 3 minutes. Total time, about 20 minutes daily. Week 3 is where you start to feel real progress. Words flowing more naturally, less hesitation. Days 22 to 30, real-world preparation. Shadow content with multiple speakers, like interviews or panel discussions. Practice common conversation scenarios. Ordering food, asking for directions, small talk. Record yourself having both sides of a conversation. If you feel ready, try a brief conversation with a human, maybe through language exchange apps. By day 30, you should feel a significant shift in your speaking confidence and ability. Remember, progress in speaking isn't always linear. Some days you'll feel like you're flying, other days you might feel like you've forgotten everything. This is completely normal and part of the process. Here are some concrete ways to measure your improvement. Can you speak for longer periods without long pauses? Are you using more complex sentence structures spontaneously? Do you self-correct naturally without stopping completely? Are you less anxious when you know you need to speak? Can you express your thoughts without translating from your native language first? Keep a simple speaking journal. After each practice session, write one sentence about what went well and one thing you want to improve tomorrow. As we wrap up today's episode, I want you to remember something crucial. Every confident English speaker you admire went through exactly what you're experiencing right now. The fear, the frustration, the moments of feeling stuck, it's all part of the journey. But here's what separates those who break through from those who stay stuck. Consistent, intentional practice. Not perfect practice, not huge amounts of time, but regular, focused effort using the techniques we've discussed today. Your brain is ready to build these new speaking pathways. The tools and methods exist. The only question is, are you ready to start? I challenge you to choose just one technique from today's episode and practice it for 10 to 15 minutes every day for the next week. Don't try to do everything at once. Pick one thing and do it consistently. Remember, you're not just learning to speak English, you're building a new version of yourself. Someone who can express their thoughts, share their ideas, and connect with people in a global language. That's pretty amazing when you think about it. If today's episode helped you, please share it with another language learner who might benefit. And don't forget to subscribe to English Lesson Lab for more practical strategies to accelerate your English learning journey. I'm Den, and I believe in your ability to break through this speaking barrier. You've got this, and I'll be here supporting you every step of the way. Until next time, keep practicing, stay patient with yourself, and remember, every conversation you start, even if it feels imperfect, is a victory.